Hi everyone, and welcome back to the NWR Investor Conference Series 11. I'm your host, Banjo Blake, and next up we have Comms Group joining us. Comms Group is an information and communication technology business providing a comprehensive range of telco and IT-related managed services. Comms Group services clients in Australia and internationally, including New Zealand and Singapore. The company's products provide a fresh approach to innovative, vendor-neutral managed network services while improving performance. Presenting on behalf of Comms Group team in today's conference is CEO and Managing Director, Peter McGrath. I'd like to now hand over to you, Peter. Welcome to the conference and take it away when you're ready.
Okay, thank you very much, Banjo, for that introduction. So hopefully you can see that screen there now. What I'll do is I'll give listeners a quick update on the company and then our most recent quarterly update. So if we look at Comms Group at a glance, Comms Group is made up of three key divisions today. We have our domestic business within Australia. We brand that Next Telecom, and that's made up of a number of businesses that existed in the company or have been acquired. And we're typically targeting SME and corporate mid-market there. We also have a recent acquisition, which is on Platinum, which we acquired a number of months ago. It's a leading ICT services provider with a strong reputation for quality, expertise, and innovation. So really providing managed IT services to customers. And then we have our global business, Comms Group Global, which is a global specialist UCaaS or Unified Communications provider into the wholesale, enterprise and multinational corporate customer area. And our goal is really to enhance business agility through innovative cloud-based communications and IT solutions. And we have four key product areas where we sell these services today. Voice, and we have an extensive voice offering, including with Unified Communications, the latest generation of voice services, data services, and managed IT and cloud services. In terms of timeline of event, there's a number of the key events in the company's history shown there on the screen. If we go back to August 2020, we put a lot of time and effort into expanding our global network, our key Microsoft Teams calling network. And that's really put us in good stead in terms of a number of key relationships and partnerships that we've generated since then. We've had a number of key acquisitions, Next Telecom back in December 2020, Switched On in August 21, and then Binary in April 21. And more recently, then we've announced a partnership with Vodafone, Fiji, and only back in March this year, a significant partnership with Vodafone Business that had been worked on from about June, July the year before. So a significant amount of activity to provide that wholesale global contract to Vodafone. And then I mentioned On Platinum was acquired in February 2020. Our key products and services are shown in front of you here. I mentioned that we have a legacy invoice that probably goes back more than 10 years, providing some key cloud-based voice services, our cloud business phone, a global PBX for customers. But back in August 2018, we launched our Microsoft Teams calling. And that's been a great product for us. It's very much still in its infancy. We expect to win a lot more business as we move forward. And what we're finding an interesting avenue is for global telcos who do not have their own offering, we can provide services to them that they can then take to market. Also in our global business, we offer wholesale voice services to our customers, more traditional SIP trunks, global telephone numbers, call termination services within country. And so we offer that across the world. We want to expand to be even deeper in that market. So over the next 12 months will be a lot of activity as we continue to expand our global network. In the data services area, we sell quite a lot of products domestically via our Next business unit. We're one of the leading providers of high-speed fibre services. And In our unified comms portfolio, we have a number of products that we take to market both domestically and internationally. And then managed IT, we have a full suite of IT services that we offer typically to the mid-market. In terms of our global Microsoft Teams calling business, so I mentioned earlier that we launched that network back in August 2018, and this is that network today. We have around 16 points of presence globally today and can offer services in over 100 countries. We're now going about expanding our capabilities in terms of sales and support as well, looking at expansion into other parts of Asia. We're already into Singapore, Philippines, and then looking at providing some sales and support capabilities in the Northern Hemisphere. We also offer a range of value-added products for Microsoft Teams, things like call recording, contact center, etc. I'll just now turn to a business update and outlook. We have had a busy last 3 or 4 months, and we did announce back in March a significant global agreement to provide key unified communication services to Vodafone. That launch date now is expected to be around the June or July timeframe. We were hoping that it would be earlier in this year, so there'd be really no revenues flowing into this financial year period. In terms of sales pipeline, we've done very well once again in the last quarter with 138,000 in new MRR and 38,000 of that from on platinum. And in the first half of the year up into December, 235,000 in monthly new recurring revenue. I would like to emphasise that we have a significant pipeline of sales prospects in the group. In fact, it's the largest and most significant pipeline of opportunities that the business has ever had. And in particular, in our global business with both unified communications and communications platform as a service offerings into Asia and also into the Northern Hemisphere. Myself and a number of the key executives have just returned from visits into the UK and also into Asia, and came back with some significant opportunities that we're working on. And we'd expect to close some of these key prospects shortly. And we have our global team attending the key ITW event in Washington over the next couple of weeks. We have put additional resources into the global business. We announced that we are appointing a new CEO, Mr. Zach Cross, and he'll be based in Singapore. He has started with the business, and that's boding really well so far. We've also added additional sales resources into the domestic SME business. We did see right at the start of the second half reduced spending on domestic telephony services by a key global wholesaler. In fact, one of our larger global wholesale clients. They are an overseas company, but they run a major consumer services business in the food services area. They have not churned and gone to someone else, so they're still with us. They've just re-engineered their internal processes. And as a result, they're not spending on some of the inbound services to the level that they were before. In fact, the levels are reduced significantly. And that has resulted in loss of revenue and profit within period, which is what we've mentioned in our release earlier today. In terms of synergies and integration, we've been working hard on the synergies and synergy extraction for both the Next and Binary acquisitions. We'd estimate that we've released about $500,000 in annualised savings so far. And we'd expect a similar level to also be released next year. And they're relatively easy to achieve synergies at the $500,000 level, with most of those projects now in train, with the savings to start to come through over the next few months. And also we have a number of other more challenging synergies, but we're working on those as well that would take the gains north of the $500,000. And we're also working underway on some on-platinum synergies, which we estimate will be worth about $300,000 per annum moving forward. In terms of outlook for the business, so we still expect FY22 revenue to be between 40 to 43, but The key impact on our profit this year was that client that's reduced their spend. So it's going to take our revenue more so to the bottom end of that range. Our underlying EBITDA is now expected to be between 4.4 to 4.8 million. And that is before the startup costs associated with the Vodafone contract. And we estimate that they're going to be circa $500,000 to 0.7 million in FY22. From FY23 onwards, we still expect annualised revenue to be north of 50 million. And we expect annualised EBITDA, we're saying, to be $6 million plus. Now, in this number, we don't have a lot coming through from the likes of Vodafone. We've been conservative there. We do believe that the Vodafone number will be material within about a 2 to 3 year period. But knowing that we're only starting that off around about June, July, we've been conservative with the numbers there. And we're also being conservative with some of the new sales contracts, the more material ones that we're working on currently, but they could add significantly to revenue and profit if we're able to bring those across the line. We'll obviously be updating the market over the next quarter or so on our progress with some of those. That's all I wanted to cover at this stage, and really happy now to hand over to any questions.
Awesome. Thanks for that presentation today, Peter. That was great to get an insight into Comms Group and its On Platinum acquisition. Speaking of On Platinum, could you please give some insight into the acquisition and where this will take Comms Group into the end of financial year 22?
Yeah, so On Platinum was acquired back in around about February, and I think we've had a couple of months of earnings from it. The business is generally tracking in line with the range that we set. And it's obviously giving a greater product set to the business. It's going to be working very closely with our Next Telecom SME business moving forward. But at this stage, we're positive about On Platinum and its growth prospects. Revenue from Platinum around about 16 to 17 million. And, we're predicting EBITDA at, say, around the 2 million level, but we'd like to see that grow to, say, 3 million over time and potentially higher as their revenues grow as well.
Speaking of acquisitions, what is the focus for M&A going forward?
Yeah, so look, we've got a very significant pipeline of opportunities, particularly in our global business. We've got a healthy pipeline in SME and also in On Platinum. In our global business, we've got some great opportunities. And of course, we've got the Vodafone opportunities that are now coming through and we're working on with Vodafone in preparation for the launch. So a lot of the activities in the business are really focusing on these organic opportunities. And that'll probably continue to be the focus in the business, I'd say, over the next 3, 4, 5 months. Acquisitions, we're not ruling out. We think there's some good opportunities out there and we're keeping a watchful eye on them. But the key focus right now is some of the significant organic opportunities we're pursuing in the business. Thanks
for that insight. Could you please provide some numbers around the potential revenue and profit impact over the next 2 to 3 years from the Vodafone business contract you've recently signed? How material is this contract to the business? Yeah, so there's no specific number for Vodafone. It's not like we've won a contract and they've come back to us and said it's going to be X million a year. It does depend on the subscribers that we bring on board or their end customers. But there are some significant opportunities that we've started to work on with them. We did indicate in our release that it would have a material impact. And so material, for a business that's around about a 50 million turnover, we'd see that, something around the 10% level in terms of turnover would be material. But it's too hard for us to give a specific indication at this stage as to what the number would be because it's dependent upon the number of users that do actually come on board. But, we would like to think that we can get revenue of that order and potentially higher. In terms of EBITDA margins on that, we would like to think that the EBITDA margins on something like that could be, of the order of, maybe 40% or thereabouts. It's high margin business, and the margins on the type of business we have in our UCAS and our global business are relatively high, north of 50%.
So, I think that's given a bit of guidance to those on the call.
Has the fall in your equity valuation changed the way that you would look to fund future acquisitions or your overall strategy?
Well, look, we would see, the announcement today is really being a temporary thing. I mean, we did mention in our announcement that we expect to recover the revenue that we lost from that customer very quickly. And so we do see it more so as a temporary thing. We clearly want to work hard to build the share price and equity value in the business. But I think, with the key focus on the organic opportunities, but it's up to us now to bring some of those across the line and demonstrate to the market that, we can grow the business organically. And I'm very confident on that as it stands today.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. And that concludes today's session for Comms Group in the NWR Virtual Investor Conference. Thanks a lot for your time, Peter. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Banjo. Bye.
Thank you.